Hi. Well, you don't want to know my name. It's not safe. But you'd better listen to the end of the story that happened to me. You also need to subscribe to this channel because there are tons of great stories to come. So, I grew up to be a very smart kid, and by the time I was 12, I had passed all my high school exams, and I got a high school diploma. My parents were very proud of me, especially my father, whom I rarely saw. It was all because of his job, but my mother kept it a secret from me. Dad always brought me strange presents from business trips. A microphone in the form of a bug, a lockpick for any door, a night vision device. And when he saw my diploma, my dad asked me to pack all my presents in a backpack. An hour later, we pulled up to a huge glass structure downtown. Dad pulled out his badge, put it on the reader. The doors opened, and we quickly stepped inside. It was a school, but an unusual one, a spy school. And my dad had brought me here to study. I was absolutely thrilled. It turned out that my dad is a secret agent. That's why he was long gone on business trips. And after showing my results on my studies to the director of the School of Spies and, at the same time, his best friend, my dad got me an invitation to study here. And I began an interesting life. I studied here for 2 years. I learned to communicate fluently in 5 languages, learned different coding for messages, got excellent physical training, and many other skills. From which I was wildly delighted. I even managed to fall in love with one guy, Sebastian, who was the best in the course. And there were not only strong feelings between us, but also fierce competition. Everyone wanted to be the best. But suddenly after Christmas, Sebastian didn't show up at school anymore. They said it was for family reasons, and there was no point in asking around. Everything was top secret. I was too busy studying to forget about the guy. 2 years of study flew by like a day, and there was a real task waiting for me as an exam, to track down a criminal. The Phantom, that was his name. In 3 months, he had managed to rob 10 of the biggest banks in the country. And each new crime was so perfect that neither police nor intelligence agencies could do anything. I was given access to the Phantom case. Tons of information to study. I stayed up for a week reviewing each of his crimes, realizing that the Phantom had a weakness for rare jewels. I created a fake news story to pique his interest. I came up with the idea that there would be an exhibition of jewels in town. Among them, the Queen's most expensive tiara. And until the exhibition, the tiara would be kept at the General National Bank. The news was set in motion. The bank's management was aware of the planned operation to capture the Phantom. The exhibition was 1 night away, and I had one and only one chance to catch the Phantom. It struck midnight. The bank was quiet. Just the guards and me. Outside, a team of agents was waiting for my signal. It was like time had stopped. An hour passed. 2 hours passed. I began to lose hope. It was probably a bad plan, and the Phantom didn't care about the ring. And suddenly, what is it? I heard a sound, and a shadow flashed in the hall. Oh, is it him? Stop right there! I jumped out of my hiding place and pointed a small pistol loaded with sleeping darts at the dark figure. Suddenly, the figure threw off its hood, and I heard a soft, painfully familiar voice. "Hello, little one. Long time no see." And then Sebastian grinned cheekily at me. "You're the Phantom?" I exclaimed. Sebastian crossed his arms and stared at me calmly, and there was a mute question in his eyes. "And what are you going to do, kid? Are you going to turn me in?" And I did not understand who was in front of me. The criminal whom I must apprehend, or the beloved man with whom not so long ago we kissed until morning. If you're wondering what I did, subscribe to the channel and set the bell. A sequel to the story will come out soon, and maybe it will end happily ever after. What would you do yourself? What would you choose? The person you love or the thing you love? Write it in. I'm interested in what you think about it.
Hi, I'm Tara from Connecticut, and I have something bad to confess to you. It was my senior year, and despite a lot of studying, I was happy. I was in love, and I believed that Jared was my destiny. We were at the same school and had been dating for quite some time. I was a little sad because after graduation, Jared was planning to fly to Paris to study at the photography school. But I was ready to wait 2 years for him to graduate and, if possible, fly to see him on weekends. Jared is a very talented photographer, and I knew this was his chance. I was looking forward to prom, still dreaming of how Jared and I would dance and party, but the week before the final test, his behavior changed drastically. He started avoiding me. He said he had to study for exams, so he didn't have any free time. But I knew it was all just excuses. The final French exam was scheduled for tomorrow, and Jared was nervous all day. It was obvious, but my nerves were on edge too because of his ignoring me. I couldn't remember the last time we'd been together, so after class I waited until everyone was heading home, and I blocked Jared's path. "We need to talk, Jared. You've been avoiding me. Why are you avoiding me?" "I already told you. I don't have time now." "I don't believe you. What is happening? Tell me." Jared avoided looking me in the eye. "Tara, let's talk later. Tell me." He took a step back from me and looked down quickly. "I've decided that I want to spend more time studying. I'm going to Paris and we'll be far away from each other. We have to break up, Tara." I felt like the ground was slipping from under my feet. My tears started to choke me, and I silently grabbed my backpack and walked out of the classroom. But I decided that I wouldn't just give up, and something bold came to my mind. I cried all night and decided to leave town so I never have to see Jared again. I opened my laptop to search for tickets for the next train, and then it hit me. Why did I have to leave? He decided to break up with me, so it's his problem, not mine. So I figured out a way to ruin Jared's life. The French test was first thing in the morning. Jared was sitting in front of me, so while he was chatting with the guys in the hallway, I quickly slipped a cheat sheet under his examination paper. The teacher came in and everyone took their seats. She told everyone to start working on their examination papers, and when Jared reached for his, the cheat sheet fell on the floor, the one I slipped under his examination paper, and there in neat handwriting was a brief description of answers to the most difficult French grammar questions. The teacher noticed this, picked up the sheet, looked at Jared, and asked him to follow her. He was reprimanded for suspicion of cheating. They didn't let him write the test. This was a situation for the teacher's council to decide. Jared was desperate, and I was triumphant. But not for long. A week went by. My conscience was starting to eat away at me. Jared looked so wilted, it didn't make me feel good. So I decided to make things right. I went to the principal and confessed everything. The principal said that Jared was a very good student and the faculty decided to give him a second chance. So tomorrow he's taking a French test. Whew, that was a relief. Even though I knew our story with Jared was over, of course he did brilliantly on the test. And soon he was off to Paris. And I could not find the courage to tell him everything. To this day, I'm still very upset. I am very ashamed of what I did. And you know what? Jared recently sent me a letter from Paris. He said he was settling in and that he felt bad about the conversation we had. He invited me to visit, and I don't know what to do. I set him up. What am I supposed to do now? Should I tell him about it? He would hate me. But I can't just hide it from him forever. What should I do, friends? Please help me with your advice. I'm waiting.